What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 4 and we're starting today's episode off on the back of our first Premier League victory with Southampton 1-0 over West Ham. Armando Broja scoring his first goal for the club this season. Such a tremendous young striker. You know, I didn't actually realise this until very recently, but he's English born. He's represented Albania a few times despite being just 19 years old, of course. A product of the Chelsea Academy. I didn't realise he was English born though. I thought he was born in Albania, but no, an English born Albanian international on loan from Chelsea. And like we talked about in the last episode, the potential he's got, I'm definitely thinking with the Chelsea sanctions, you never know what could happen in the future. Financial uncertainty, season 2, cut price deal. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And more on Chelsea later. Still, for the first game of today's episode, on the back of the win against West Ham, travelling away from home to Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium, one of the toughest places you can go in England. I didn't think we'd follow up that win and clean sheet with another one here at the Etihad Stadium. In the first half, it was all Manchester City, as you'd expect. A barrage of attacks on Sam Johnston's goal, but 42 minutes in, we were still deadlocked at 0-0 courtesy of the former baggy. Yes, Sam Johnston making save after save. You best believe that it was frustrating the Man City fans even more so by being a former Red Devil. But even so, it was the Sam Johnston show in this game, man. He's had a great start to the season. Obviously, he was great against Newcastle. He was great against West Ham, won the man of the match in that game. Back-to-back clean sheets in those two games here. And with half an hour to go, our only chance falling here, Ritsu denied his second of the season, as it was still 0-0, and that was how the game would finish. And I walked down that tunnel so quickly because I felt like I just committed a robbery in this game. You see the stats come full time: 3.8 XG for Manchester City, 8 shots on Sam's goal, and no surprise with 5 saves. He's my man of the match once again. 3 straight clean sheets for Sam Johnston. You love to see it, and I've got to say, what a bargain he's been from West Bromwich Albion, man. Picked him up for £4 million, and the dude has just been on fire to start the season off. Yeah, 75 rated, 28 years old. I'm not going to lie, there are far more goalkeepers we could have signed with far higher potential at a far younger age. But this series is all about realism, and at the moment, I wouldn't trade Sam Johnston for anyone else. He's been fantastic start the campaign off. He's the reason we got a draw there, and it was just so funny, man. Like, 0-0 away at the Etihad Stadium, got dominated. As soon as that final whistle blew, I was out of there, man. Like, I was straight down, straight into the team bus. Let's get going back down to the South Coast, boys, because we've committed a robbery here. Still, following the draw there against Man City, Carabao Cup, 3rd round, Northampton Town, Cobblers, no really, away from home at Sixfields. Been to this ground many times before as a youngster. We won the game by a goal to 0. Northampton are in League 2, mid-table, to start the season off in the game. It was always going to be a routine victory, and it was. Theo Walcott with the only goal of the game in a 1-0 win, and we're through to the 4th round. And our reward for making it through against the League 2 Northampton Town is the winners of the Carabao Cup this year. Yeah, Liverpool in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. And it's been nice to get through against the Magpies and Northampton away. But despite being at home for the 4th round, yeah, we got far less chance of making it through there. I think that's where our progress will end. And I won't be too disappointed either. It's the Carabao Cup. And, you know, the further I get in the Carabao Cup, the more serious I start to take it. In the later rounds, I will start fielding stronger teams. But because it's Liverpool and it comes sandwiched in between 2 more important Premier League games, I'll probably throw out a backup side once again. We've got very little chance of making it through anyway. So against the champions, yeah, I think I'll let them have that one. Still, for the following game, in what has been a really good run for Southampton, the best run of form to start the season off. 3 games without a loss in the Premier League and 3 straight clean sheets. 5 points from a possible 9. Very good run for Saints, all things considered. Taking on Bruno Lage's Wolves here at St Mary's. Aim to get back to winning ways here in the Premier League, and back-to-back wins at St Mary's in the Premier League as well. Bruno Lage's side started off better, just couldn't hit the target, and then right before the break, we would and score through it as well. Che Adams' first goal of the season, connected with an Armstrong cutback to make it 1-0. Great finish as well under pressure there, and it is indeed his first goal of the season. We rejected 2 bids in the summer for him from 2 European sides, Leipzig, and I think it was Valencia, the other team. But I said I'm not going to sell him in the first season. First of all, I don't think it'll be realistic, but also secondly, I do believe he'll come good. Taking him a while to scratch for the first time this season. Finally he's had, and now hopefully now that'll kickstart his beginning to the campaign. So leading by a goal on Wolves, but I'll be honest here, I wasn't really playing that well. We saw Kyle Walker-Peters go down early in the second half. Now with 20 minutes to go, another great save by Sam Johnston kept us leading by 1. And with 4 minutes on the clock, Wolves pushing and pressing and looking for a game winner. Sorry, game leveler. Sam Johnston once again with another incredible save. Kept us still leading by a goal as we held on for the 3 points, and maybe not quite as shocking as a result as the one at the Etihad Stadium, but I'm going to take it. How Wolves failed to score in this game, I don't know. Well, actually, I do. Sam Johnston, the main reason, once again, a couple of great saves, missed a target with a couple of great chances as well, and I'll take the 3 points there. And what a run for Southampton. 4 games in the Premier League, no defeats, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 4 clean sheets as well. And in this run, we've had Wolves, we've had the Magpies, and Manchester City away, and West Ham as well. 4 really good teams, including Pep Guardiola's side too at the Etihad Stadium. What a fantastic run for Southampton, and you know you'd love to see it, man. Just 2 wins in 6. It doesn't sound great, don't get me wrong. Well, we've only scored 3 goals as well, but come on, man, perspective. You know, to go 4 games unbeaten for Southampton with a really tough run of fixtures and 4 straight clean sheets on the trot as well. That to me is good. I'm taking that to the bank, and we committed robbery at the Etihad, and probably at St Mary's in that game against Wolves as well. So I'm taking that, man. I am absolutely taking that. 8 points for a possible 12 in those 4 games there. That to me is really good, and it's the reason why we've now snuck into the top 10 for the first time this season. There's a long way to go. Only 6 games into the campaign. Not taking anything for granted, but it's been very encouraging indeed, this nice little mini stretch here for the Saints. So, following game, Chelsea away. First one of October here away at Stamford Bridge. And I want to talk about Chelsea real briefly as we enter this game here at West London on the back of no losses in our last 4. I really feel like Thomas Tuchel is not getting the credit he deserves. And I know that sounds crazy for, you know, a manager that's won the Champions League with Chelsea. Of course, just got to the EFL Cup final. They did, of course, lose to Liverpool. He's done a tremendous job since coming in with the Blues, and no one is going to deny that whatsoever. But I really feel for the uncertain situation at Chelsea right now, it is such a unique scenario. It's something that never happens, you know, so it's a really unique scenario. He's got nothing to compare it against. But the way he's handled it, and Chelsea, you know, not being faced by this, their performances on the pitch have still been fantastic. Obviously, this afternoon, they're taking on Newcastle United away at St James's Park, one of the informed teams in the Premier League. I don't know the conclusion of that result. I'm recording that this morning, so I don't know how that game has gone. But even so, like, he's done a tremendous job there, and he came out of a quote after the Norwich victory at Carrow Road when he said something like, and like hours before it was announced that, you know, Abramovich's sanctions, you know, he was going to be forced to sell the club. Hours beforehand, and their shirt sponsor Free were going to be putting out as well. With all the uncertainty going on, he came out of a quote after the Norwich game, which was something like, as long as we've got enough shirts in the team bus, we'll be alright. And I just thought that was really, really cool. He's been such an amazing fit for Chelsea and an incredible appointment by Abramovich as well. And I really feel as though I love Frank Lampard, as many of you guys know. I'm a massive fan of Super Frank Lampard. So he at Chelsea was just an awesome thing for me to see as a football neutral. But even so, like, what a decision to replace him with Thomas Tuchel, because the man's been fantastic. The Chelsea fans love him, the players love him, and rightfully so. And I think the way that Chelsea have handled this situation as well, I don't think they're getting enough credit for it. It really is unprecedented and totally unique. The uncertainty of the future, literally anything could happen to Chelsea. I mean, literally anything at this point with the sanctions and the sale, which is definitely going to go through now. You know, anything could happen, and the way they've handled themselves on the pitch has been great. I'm saying that. I bet what happened this afternoon is they got smacked 5-0 by Newcastle or something. No, in mind, like, with the way I jinx things. But even so, yeah, I think Thomas Tuchel's done a great job. And I also think as well, for Chelsea fans as well, They're being punished right now with this, but their unwavering support for the club has just been great to see all across social media, and the travelling support they've had in their games as well. Anyway, this was our first loss on the back of none in our last 4. It was the American with a double in this game, Christian Pulisic. It was so typical for the first goal as well, because I saved a penalty, which I literally never do with Sam Johnston, unsurprisingly, based on the form he's in right now, up against Timo Werner. And then from the following attack, after the ball went out for a throw-in, Chelsea scored. I was like, that is absolutely typical. I save a penalty for the first time in months and it counts for nothing. Even so, Chelsea got the win. They do get the 3 points, and it's our first loss on the back of none in our last 4. We remain in the top 10, though, 9 points on the board. I'm not going to read too much into that. There's a long way to go, not even a fifth of the way through the season. Despite defeat there, it's still been a really good start for Southampton. But that winning today's episode of the Realistic Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Enjoyed it. If you hadn't, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode very soon.